फाइव वेस्टर्न सिटी प्रेजेंट फेस टू फेस में आप लोगों का फिर से स्वागत है। मैं हूँ आपका होस्ट सुचंद्रा। आज हम लोगों के साथ बेंगलोर से एक होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक के जाने माने डॉक्टर जो कि है मिस्टर संजय पानीकर जी, वो हमारे साथ इस इंटरव्यू में मौजूद है। उनका जो होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक अमृता होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक जो कि बेंगलोर में वन ऑफ द बेस्ट होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक है। तो चलिए डॉक्टर संजय पानीकर से हम लोग बात करते हैं। नमस्कार डॉक्टर संजय जी, आपको फाइव वेस्टर्न सिटी में आपका स्वागत है।
नमस्ते। नमस्ते आपको।
आपका ये जो क्लिनिक है, होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक है, ये तो बेंगलोर में वन ऑफ द टॉप 5 होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक में सिलेक्ट हुए हैं। सो हाउ आर यू फीलिंग?
Of course, it is a very nice feeling to be among the top 5. In fact, we aim to look at being one of the top clinics in country, and I keep my standards a little high कि हम national level से ज़्यादा international level की तरफ भी सोचें कि how is the international standards and how we can see that we follow similar standards. ये मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा रहता है। तो now actually we are even thinking of doing a study internationally to see what policies they follow and how we can improvise on our standards here in our country.
Okay. Dr. Sanjay, how many years of experience do you have in this field?
I have about 26 years of experience right now. Maybe it will be 27 this year end. We'll finish 27 years by this year end.
ओके जैसे कि आप बता रहे थे कि इंटरनेशनल रूल्स फॉलो करते हैं कि कैसे वो लोग काम करते हैं। तो राइट नाउ एज अ होम्योपैथी डॉक्टर और एज अ होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक इंटरनेशनली मतलब कितना ये पॉपुलर है? क्योंकि ज्यादातर देखा जाता है कि हम लोग आजकल एलोपैथी में ज्यादातर शिफ्ट कर चुके हैं। तो होम्योपैथी आजकल कितना पॉपुलर है इसके ट्रीटमेंट में?
होम्योपैथी इंटरनेशनली भी पॉपुलर है। There are a lot of countries using homeopathic medicines, though India में सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ हो रही है। Though it's a German system of medicine, Indians बहुत सारे उसको accept कर चुके हैं and we are using it in wide range. We're the largest democracy to be using homeopathic medicines. And India में first ये disease, I mean the treatment system of medicine जो है, it started off in North India with a king who came down and who was not well, and he was treated by a homeopathic doctor, and then he got better, and that's how the system of medicine started spreading over to the rest of the country. Basically, this system of medicine was introduced to India through a king who had fallen sick, and then he treated it with homeopathy, and then he got better. Then he introduced it to the rest of the people. And people who were not getting better with the allopathic medicines, वो homeopathic medicine use करके उसमें improvement उनको जब नज़र आया तो पूरा धीरे धीरे करके it started spreading in the rest of the country. Today if you see homeopathy is across India, and especially in Calcutta and in Kerala. These are the two cities which is widely using homeopathic medicines. When I started my practice, शायद 1996-97 में I started my practice. So if you look at that, those days homeopathy was not so popular in Karnataka. Not so popular. Very few doctors were practicing. But today यहाँ पे जहाँ पे हमने clinic start किया Bangalore में, there are n number of doctors who are practicing homeopathy, and it's a matter of pride to be positioned in the top 5 homeopathic clinics. We've always strived towards that, to see what best we can give to the patients, what best we can give the city, what best we can give to homeopathy. See, venture के हिसाब से, I mean, with keeping that in mind, we started a homeopathic vending machine concept, where during COVID बहुत सारे patients को reach out करना मुश्किल हो रहा था. We were not able to give medicines to the patients. So we started loading the machines with these homeopathic medicines. And preventive medicines जो भी patients को ज़रूरी है, they can just come up and use the vending machine, pick up the medicines and go. So this is the a little bit of innovation which we brought into homeopathy. In fact, I think ideally speaking, this is the first world's first homeopathic vending machine that we brought to Bangalore, जहाँ पे we have a concept where we are giving the prescription and the patient can actually directly pick up the medicine from the vending machine. This idea came into my mind actually when a child fell sick. एक बच्चे को रात में बुखार हो गया था, 102, 103, बहुत हाई फीवर हो गया था, and his parents could not contact me. The child is very sensitive to allopathic medicine. मतलब gastritis हो जाता है, he cannot tolerate the strong medicine. So he and his parents were not in favor of giving any allopathic medicines. रात में जब फीवर बहुत हाई हुआ, they tried to reach me. I spoke to the patient around 2 o'clock in the night. I was sleeping at that time, but the call rang and then मैंने देखा कि ओके बच्चे को सिम्टम्स है, बहुत हाई है, एंड आई शुड गिव सम मेडिसिन. बट वो बहुत दूर रहते थे. दे वर स्टेइंग ऑलमोस्ट लाइक इन अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ 25-30 किलोमीटर्स, एंड मेरे घर भी मेरे क्लिनिक से बहुत दूर है. सो देयर इज नो वे आई कुड रीच आउट इन द नाइट, गो एंड पिक अप द मेडिसिन एंड गिव इट टू द पेशेंट. तो इजीली मैंने बोला कि नेक्स्ट डे यू कम डाउन. बट अगर वो सेम पॉइंट पे, if there would have been a vending machine or something which can give the medicines in the middle of the night also, then the patient could just go there, consult me, and I can enter the prescription, patient can pick it up from the machine.
Yes.
So मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा एक thought आया, and then we worked on it with the help of one of my friend. We designed a machine and which can dispense the medicines over a prescription. मतलब मैं अगर prescribe करता हूँ तो उसमें से pick up करते हैं. So this concept we got it in, though we have not been able to spread it across to various places because of high budget involved. It's very expensive, so to send it in different location is very, very costly. Though we did it in a small scale during COVID in our area, and in my apartment and some other apartment we had placed the machine where patients जाके pick up करते थे दवाई, so it used to be very helpful to them. We have similar innovation techniques which we have in mind, which we are planning to bring it across, shayad in future, which I will not be discussing right now, but maybe in future let it come, then we will see how it is.
Dr. Sanjay, does all type of treatment possible in homeopathy?
All types of treatments are possible in homeopathy, but homeopathy is a symptom-based treatment, basically symptom-based method of approach, where you understand the symptoms of the patient and then you prescribe based on those symptoms. Like for example, ये first found out हुआ था जब somebody took cinchona. Cinchona is a plant extract, the bark of cinchona, which is actually a poison. In my native, they use cinchona to kill stray dogs, which you create a lot of menace. In those days, not nowadays, they don't allow, the animal protection rights is very strict. So earlier days, when I was a kid and we used to have rabies and things going on, तो people क्या करते थे, ये bark निकाल के उसमें जैगरी में mix करके they used to give, and the animal used to die in getting epileptic and cardiac arrest. So this is a very strong poison. तो ये दवाई ये medicine में भी use करते हैं. Like for example, in fevers, which is periodical fevers. Oh, fevers may be cinchona is one of the remedy. When you use cinchona in minute doses, we have noticed that some patients develop fever in a periodic interval. मतलब अभी है और maybe once in a few hours it is rising. एक particular pattern of the fever. मलेरिया में भी ऐसा ही fever देखा गया था जहाँ पे periodical fever था with chills and shivering and all that. So जब ये symptoms किसी patient में देखते हैं and we give cinchona, we have seen that the patient is actually getting cured. So this was a study done by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, where he saw that a substance which can produce a group of symptoms in a patient can also cure a similar group of symptoms in a deceased individual. So इसके हिसाब से they have done further studies on various substances and found that many of the substances in nature can produce some symptoms in a healthy individual. And when you find similar symptoms in a deceased person and you give the homeopathic medicine based on those symptoms, it is getting cured. इसके हिसाब से homeopathic treatment was given. But then there are certain conditions which is irreversible. Now in life, we have some restriction. We are human beings, right? We cannot do magic show. We cannot do We cannot cure every incurable disease. There are some diseases which are curable, some which is incurable. जहाँ पे भी ज़्यादा structural changes हैं, like for example by birth there is no heart, so or the patient will die automatically. The heart is not there. There's no treatment for it at that moment.
Yes.
By birth जो भी congenital deformities होता है, you may prevent it if the mother is on homeopathic medicines at the time of pregnancy. To some extent you can improve it or prevent that complication. But if an organ is not there, that person to treat it and to clear that with medicine, this is a far-fetched dream. It is not practically possible. But if it's a disease, like for example, if it is fever, cough, cold, if it is some tuberculosis, if it is some hypertension, diabetes, lifestyle-induced disease, ये सब चीजों we can treat it with homeopathy. Cancer है तो भी treat कर सकते हैं. हाँ, many patients of cancer which are cured with homeopathic medicine. But अगर structural changes है, which is permanently damaged, we have no way of recovering that tissue. For example, in medical science, two things we cannot reverse. One is aging and second is death. ये दो चीज़ों के लिए अभी मेडिसिन में कोई ट्रीटमेंट नहीं है. तो हम ट्रीट कर सकते हैं. We can improve most of the diseases, but there are some curable, some incurable diseases. Keeping that in mind, we will have to treat.
Okay. Dr. Sanjay, what are the treatments available in Amrita Homeopathy Clinic? What are the specialities of Amrita Homeopathy Clinic?
We specialize in hair and skin problems, respiratory problems, allergies, pediatrics, infertility, especially PCOD and sperm count issues. And these are some of our main domains where we treat. And nowadays we're getting a lot of cases post-COVID. Post-COVID, we're getting many cases of infertility, stroke, and cardiac issues. So, though that is not a cardiac issues and all are not one of our specialty, but we are seeing cases left and right post-COVID, or maybe it is post-vaccination, we don't know, but there are a lot of cases which are coming up. Any which ways, these are the specialities that we deal with, especially hair and skin problems. We have 70% of the patients who come to us with hair problems and skin problems.
Do you provide online service also?
Yes, we do treat online also. We get patients from India and across the globe. I have patients who consult me like abroad also, here also. So we are treating them through online consultation. We have a large number of patients abroad. Many of our patients here in Bangalore are IT professionals. They consult me initially, then they are posted online on site, and then we have to consult them abroad. Sometimes they carry their medicines with them, keep consulting with me whenever there's a problem. And we guide them how to use it. We give the medicines in their hand so they can decide which one to take by consulting us.
Okay. Dr. Sanjay, there is a hypothesis that people believe that homeopathy treatment takes long time. Okay. So what's your thought on it?
Okay. So this is, it's like this. See, अगर fever है, cough है, cold है, तो चाहे homeopathy हो, चाहे allopathy हो, you know that fever will take 7 days or 1 week, whichever psychologically you feel is longer. But basically antibiotic course होता है 5 दिन का या 7 दिन का. Homeopathic medicine भी 3 या 4 दिन में पूरा issue को resolve कर देती है. At the most maybe a week. And similar is allopathic medicine also. There is no comparison that you need to worry about in this, because fever, only thing is allopathy में there are antipyretics like paracetamol is there. You give paracetamol in half an hour, the fever comes down.
Yes.
In certain types of fevers, you can do that with homeopathy also. But homeopathy में हमारे concept क्या है कि we basically don't believe in suppressing the disease. Suppressing the disease, disease is considered to be, fever is not something which is unhealthy for the body. जब temperature rise होता है तो the bacteria is producing a chemical called as histamine, which is meant to kill bacteria and viruses. And when histamine is rising, then automatically the body temperature rises. That high temperature is required to reduce the number of organisms that is there which is doing damage in your body. So वो organism के against a histamine produce होता है, or the chemicals are being released so that it can kill those organisms. अगर हम उसको suppress कर देते हैं तो body का healing ability is being lost. I mean, if you're giving an antibiotic is killing the organism, where is the immune system working? तो immune system को काम करने का मौका ही नहीं मिलता है. So next time when you get an infection, it doesn't recognize it. So इसीलिए we are seeing many children are falling sick. They're getting fever, cough, cold. वो एलोपैथिक मेडिसिन लेते हैं, फीवर, कॉफ, कोल्ड कम होता है, लेकिन नेक्स्ट वीक फिर से हो जाता है, नेक्स्ट वीक फिर से हो जाता है. एक महीने में 4-5 बार फीवर आ रहा है, कॉफ आ रहा है, कोल्ड आ रहा है. दैट्स नो एंड. जून से लेके, जब से स्कूल खुला है जून मंथ में, तब से लेके अभी तक रिपीटेड कोल्ड कॉफ, फीवर, सबको, इंक्लूडिंग चिल्ड्रन. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज ए न्यू स्ट्रेन ऑफ वायरस, वो है, लेकिन फिर भी वो इम्यूनिटी शुड समवेयर कैच अप ना, वो नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि बिकॉज रिपीटेडली इट इज बीइंग ट्रीटेड, सप्रेस्ड with the medicines, with the antibiotics, with the fever. So we don't believe in suppressing the fevers like that. We treat it in such a way that the immune system builds up, kills the organism. It will anyway take 5 days to 7 days. If you give it that time, then the fever also will come down.
It will remove permanently.
तो उससे फिर बार ये नहीं होगा. शायद होगा 1-2 बार, बट उसके विद इन दैट टाइम द बॉडी इम्यून सिस्टम उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करेगी. और बाकी के डिसीजेस जो है, लाइक मेजर डिसीजेस, क्रॉनिक डिसीजेस, अभी डायबिटीज है, एलोपैथी है तो भी, होम्योपैथी है तो भी लॉन्ग टर्म ट्रीटमेंट ही चलता है. एक केस मुझे याद आया जब स्पीड के बारे में आप बोले तो. पेशेंट मॉर्निंग से लेके दोपहर तक 3 बजे तक, मॉर्निंग 8 o'clock शायद, शी स्टार्टेड वॉमिटिंग ब्लड एंड ये कैंसर का एक केस था. सो मैं तभी, आई वॉज जस्ट ए बिगिनर, I just started my practice and I was the only doctor in about 10-15 kilometers radius. So मेरे पास the village people came and they asked me if you can do anything about it. This is an elderly lady, she was vomiting blood. So मेरे understanding, whatever the knowledge I had at that time, based on that, I gave a single dose of 𝙁𝘼𝘾𝙀. 𝙁𝘼𝘾𝙀 is a homeopathic medicine. I gave a single dose of 𝙁𝘼𝘾𝙀 30 and I myself was surprised at the result that I got in that case. Within half an hour, the bleeding stopped. I can say that this is one of those cases which brought up my confidence in homeopathy. So, वैसा ही, there are many cases I can recite where miraculously the homeopathic medicine has worked. जो bleeding stop हुआ या unconscious patients have got up after the medicines. एक पेशेंट को इतना हाई हाइपरटेंशन, बीपी इतना बढ़ गया था, उसको हम मैलिग्नेंट हाइपरटेंशन बोलते हैं. शी वाज स्टेइंग ऑपोजिट माय क्लिनिक एंड शी वाज हैविंग वॉमिटिंग विथ ब्राउनिश कलर मींस देयर इज ब्लड इन द वॉमिट. सो हो रहा है, इसलिए ब्राउनिश कलर होता है. तो द बीपी इज सो हाई, शी इज नॉट एबल टू सी थिंग्स क्लियरली. पूरा एक मिरेज इफेक्ट है. मिरेज मतलब जब धूप में हम देखते हैं तो फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड यू कैन सी अ हेजी लुक, नीचे से रोड सब हेजी दिखता है. So that kind of appearance is what she is getting, and she's feeling nausea and she is vomiting. For this patient also, I had prescribed some medicine at that time, and by next day morning, her BP was normal, and she stopped vomiting blood immediately. She started vomiting, everything sab ruk gaya within about an hour or two, and next day tak she was normal. And she told me, मुझे 15 साल से ये leg में एक pulling sensation और catch है, and my knee is bent since 15 years. I'm not able to straighten it. लेकिन अभी पता नहीं क्या हुआ, कल रात से जब से अपने दवाई दिया है, अभी सवेरे उठ के देख रही हूँ तो मेरा leg is becoming straight. I'm able to keep it straight and the pain is gone. I don't know how it has happened, honestly speaking, but this medicine probably covered that symptom also. And she actually got better after that, and her joint pains and arthritis and everything improved subsequent to that. Homeopathy एक holistic system of medicine है. It covers the entire health and sees to it that the entire health of the person improves. So maybe one by one, sometimes you may have to give different medicine in allopathic system. यहाँ पे sometimes one medicine can sort out the entire thing. एक आध cases में you may have to give multiple remedies, where like for example you give one medicine for cough, cold, fever, after which maybe you want to give one more medicine to cover up for the rest of the symptoms. As it might happen in certain cases. You may need a couple of remedies which are complementary, means completes the action of the previous medicines, or some intercurrent medicines or anti-miasmatic medicines. As are some combinations in severe cases we require. So that the physicians can decide and give it, but it is helpful in curing the disease in the shortest possible way, in the most harmless to the body. That's how we treat it. जहाँ पे body को harm ना हो, disease gets cured also. Like that.
Exactly. One more question, Dr. Sanjay. What are the difference of your clinic, your Amrita Homeopathy Clinic, and others Homeopathy Clinic?
All homeopathic doctors finish the same course of medicine that I have finished.
Exactly.
And ideally speaking, every homeopathic doctor should be able to practice the way I am practicing. And I believe that everybody has the same capacity and same potential to cure the diseases that I am able to do. So, if at all, this question is like, in what way our clinic is different? I would say that our clinic is different because of my staff who are working with me. My doctors and my staff are very, very committed. They're very committed to the patients. They go to the root of the case and see what is the actual problem, and they try to sort out that issue. अगर patients को कोई health issues हैं, I know my doctor who actually cried seeing the suffering of one of the patient. उतना sensitivity is required for a doctor to treat a case. If you don't understand the pain of another patient, you cannot treat that. So I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have such kind of staff and doctors working with me who can understand the pain of the patients and who can treat the cases accordingly. उनके problem solve करने को रात बैठ के case लेते हैं कभी. I have that kind of a support system. It may be difficult for a single doctor clinic sometimes to cater to so many patients and to the requirements of multiple patients, but we take up training of the docters also. Fresh doctors को exposure नहीं रहता है, and nobody would like to meet a fresher doctor many times. They'd want to meet experienced doctors. So इसीलिए I'm also recruiting jobs for doctors. I'm recruiting doctors who can start up and sit with me, observe the cases, see how I'm practicing, and learn up the clinical aspects of practice. जो theory में रहता है, practice में जब हम करते हैं तो whatever we learned becomes more stronger in our minds. So that way we also have a technique of training the doctors. So many of the doctors who have come here now are doing very good practice, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay. Just one more last question. कि जैसे कि लोग कंफ्यूज होते हैं कि कोई अगर बीमारी हो तो वो होम्योपैथी में कब आए, मतलब इज देयर मतलब बाय चॉइस ये होम्योपैथी में आए, या फिर कोई आप ऐसा कोई मैसेज आप देना चाहते हो कि वो डिसाइड कैसे करे कि उसको होम्योपैथी में जाना चाहिए या फिर एलोपैथी में जाना चाहिए ट्रीटमेंट के लिए?
Every system has its own plus or minus. अभी होम्योपैथी में भी उसका प्लस भी रहेगा, उसका माइनस भी रहेगा. सेम वे एलोपैथिक सिस्टम में भी उसका प्लस रहता है, उसका माइनस रहता है. When you know that a disease can be treated without side effects, without surgery, ऐसे possibility है, तो then my suggestion is try out that possibility, and if nothing works out, then you go for radical solutions. Like for example, अभी gallbladder में stone है. For example, I'm just saying, gallbladder में stone है, तो we want to prevent a complication for that patient. छोटा stone है, 5 mm है, and we want to remove the gallbladder to prevent a complication of maybe gallbladder rupture हो सकता है, या फिर gallbladder stone can get obstructed in future. मतलब gallbladder जब rupture होना है तो the stone has to be very big. अगर बहुत बड़ा स्टोन है तब वो जाके उसमें से वेट की वजह से इट में रप्चर. अगर स्टोन जाके बाइल डक्ट में ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट हो जाए तो देयर कैन बी प्रॉब्लम. बट दीज आर ऑल पॉसिबिलिटीज ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशंस. बट प्रैक्टिकली एज अ डॉक्टर वी नो दैट द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन इन अ पेशेंट विद गॉलस्टोन इज वेरी लेस. द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशन इज ओनली 3%. 3% मतलब 100% केसेस, 100 केसेस हम देखेंगे तो 3 पेशेंट को शायद कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो सकता है, उसमें 1 पेशेंट को फैटेलिटी हो सकती है. जब हमें ये पता है So we should not, as a patient also, as a doctor also, we should not think that okay, radically उसको जाके gallbladder ही निकाल दें. It is like saying that डायबिटीज है तो गैंग्रीन ऑफ द फीट आ सकता है, करेक्ट है, गैंग्रीन पैर में आ सकता है, उसका ये मतलब नहीं कि हम पैर को काट के निकाल दें,
पहले से निकाल दें. जी हाँ,
ऐसा नहीं. सो दैट वे वी हैव टू सी विच डिसीज कैन बी ट्रीटेड विद होम्योपैथी और विच डिसीज कैन बी ट्रीटेड. अगर हो सकता है सर्जरी अवॉइड कर सके, अगर हो सकता है कि वी कैन अवॉइड द मेडिसिन विच कैन हैव साइड इफेक्ट्स, देन गो फॉर द सिंपलर मेथड्स. एंड if you have a situation where nothing has worked out, then of course surgery is there to support you. But that is that particular last option. Well, keep this as the first option, where in the early stages, when you treat any disease with natural medicines like homeopathy, ayurveda, उसका success rate भी बहुत high होता है. Now we are treating hair patients जो है, हम उसको उन patients को ऐसा treat करते हैं, we are doing a combination. We are doing a combination of homeopathy plus some aesthetic treatments, and usme we are getting excellent response in this combination of method of treatment. Now we are not sending that to minoxidil. Minoxidil and finasteride is the allopathic medicine which can produce a growth within 2 weeks or 6 weeks. But लेकिन उसका क्या है, वो रोकेंगे तो immediately hair loss हो जाता है. Within 3-4 months the person starts balding. So that's, people are not aware about it. वो उसका रिजल्ट देख के okay, I'm getting good hair, so they try using minoxidil and finasteride. Finasteride is so harmful that it can cause deformed babies if the person is pregnant or if they are planning for a baby. It can be so dangerous. So why to go for such risky treatment when you can have simpler natural methods जहाँ पे hair pickup हो सकता है. So we are using a combination of homeopathy plus some techniques like mesotherapy, which is non-injectable, जिसमें हमें almost success rate is as high as 90%. मतलब 100 केसेस आएंगे तो उसमें सिर्फ 2 केस ही we are not able to deal with it, and those 2 cases we are not able to deal because either they are too aged or they are completely bald.
थैंक यू सो मच संजय जी, हम लोगों को टाइम देने के लिए, 5 बेस्ट सिटी को टाइम देने के लिए, और आपने जो जो मैसेज दिया, आई थिंक ये हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही स्पेशल है, बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है सभी के लिए. और बेंगलोर से जो लोग भी है और आसपास के कहीं से भी है, तो उन लोगों को अगर होम्योपैथिक ट्रीटमेंट चाहिए तो आप लोग अमृता होम्योपैथी क्लिनिक डॉक्टर संजय पानीकर से आप लोग संपर्क कर सकते हैं, और उनका फोन नंबर, क्लिनिक का एड्रेस, सब कुछ वीडियो इंटरव्यू के साथ मेंशन किया हुआ है. आज का ये इंटरव्यू फेस टू फेस यही तक रहेगा. देखने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. नेक्स्ट टाइम आप लोगों के साथ फिर से मुलाकात होगा. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू, शुक्रिया डॉक्टर संजय. नमस्कार.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely talking to you.